So I wanted to break down the game from last night, Washington and Boston, because I got some comments about how did Boston win, for the books, or how did Washington win for the books? Did they profit on this matchup? So to answer your question, I don't believe that this game was totally lopsided. Okay, and before we start, personal belief. I've been doing this for a long time, and I think what goes on in these matchups, okay, if you're getting a big game and it's going to be lopsided, they're going to know that it's going to be a lopsided game, okay? They're going to know that they're going to get lopsided action on the game. So what I think that they're doing is they go into the game, they tell the refs, we need this game officiated very closely, okay? So from then on, then they know what they have to do. Okay, the game's going to be competitive. There's going to be hardly separation between both teams. Whereas a game like this, Boston and Washington, where I said in my last video that it doesn't look totally lopsided, but there is more money taking Boston. Okay, and that it was 55% when I showed it. That's not totally lopsided. Okay, but there was more money on Boston. So when you get that where it's not 70% lopsided, 80% lopsided, that's when the game is going to be more officiated freely, okay? The game's going to go back and forth, and there's not going to be as much pressure for the officials officiating the game to keep it competitive, okay? So that's basically how my belief is and what goes on and how they control these games, okay? They're going to know beforehand how they want to officiate the game based on the money. Okay, and that's really if you think about it, that's really the only logical reason. Okay, they're not going to start fixing a game or controlling a game, whatever you want to call it, in the fourth quarter or in the third quarter because the team got down by 30 points or so. A lot of people were saying in the comments, how come that they got blown out? Because the game, if you, for instance, Houston, the game was already over by the time it started. There was no effort being played, and I explained that in my last video. There's not going to be no effort in it, so that's why a team is able to get blown out like that because nobody cares. It's like showing up to work and not working because they're not going to pay you. Okay, it's like showing up because you might get paid or might not get paid. Are you going to give that much of an effort to do anything? Okay, so it's basically the same thing. So um, that covers that. Now I'm going to show this 53%. Okay, like I said, it went down at the very end to 53%. Okay, so I don't believe that this Boston game was totally lopsided. Okay, so the sharp money definitely was taking Washington, even in it out a little bit. So that is why Boston probably came back. Who knows why they came back? But I don't think that they were, purposely trying to fix it for Boston to come back, or it just happened because there was not enough money on one side. Okay, you start to see things happen when you see a lopsided game, like the Houston game. That was totally lopsided. Okay, we know there was way more money on Houston than there was San Antonio. This one wasn't the case. Okay, this one worked a little bit differently than that. Okay, so we know this was an even match, but I'm going to show you where the books won here. Okay, because I got some questions about how did the books win on this matchup if you see that they lost the full game. You just look at the full game score and it looks like the books lost, but that's not the case. I'm going to show you where it is, and that's why I wanted to explain the first half, because if you look at the first half, we're going to pick it up right here with John Wall. Okay, he's going to get blocked or whatever. He's going to pass the ball and then get blocked here. But okay, so right here is where Boston got fouled. Okay, so they tie the game up. They tied the game at 53 apiece. Okay, and then Bradley Beal on the next play got fouled shooting a jumper, which I don't believe was a foul. Okay, but like I said, that money line on Boston looked really good. Okay, so they needed that to at least have some type of chance to win the first half, and they got it. Okay, so Bradley Beal made that jumper to put them up 55-53, which they don't show in these highlights. I couldn't find the full game here to break that down. So they cut through this. But then they go up 2 points, and then Marcus Smart drives in here, which this could have been a questionable call here as well, giving him 2 free throws. Say, for instance, he makes the 2 free throws. That ends up being a push for the books on the money line, and they lose out on all that money. Don't forget, Boston on the money line in the first half was like 165, I want to say, or 190, something like that. But that's a lot of juice there. So they collected all that juice that people were betting on Boston in the first half. Okay, so you see here, Smart drives in. I can't really tell if he got fouled there. I'm not gonna, break this down because it's too far away, and I can't tell. He might have gotten fouled. He certainly thinks he got fouled, but can't really tell. But if they do call a foul there, that's 2 free throws, and then the game ends in a tie the first half, and they pay all that money back as a push for the money line. So that's it for the half. And then okay, so the question I got was how did the books win? Well, here they won the first half. Washington won the first half. They won the second quarter. Okay, and then they won the first half on the money line. And I'm not too sure if you can bet on the money line in the second quarter, but if that's the case, they won there too. So they won 4 ways, okay, in this game, the books. So they did okay. They collected all the juice that people were betting on this Boston on the money line in the first half, as well as the juice for the game, because there's going to be juice if you take Washington here. They're going to collect anyways. There's always going to be juice, 110 line. So going by that, I think the books ended up doing okay on this game. At worst, they split. Okay, I don't see them losing any money on this matchup. It was just a split for them. They might have lost a little bit or made a little bit, but this game didn't do any damage for the books. Okay, so I hope that helped you and answer all your questions. The people leaving comments down below. So yeah, that's it. I'll be back with some more videos breaking down these matchups. So comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you then.